Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me on a beautiful afternoon here in Germany in the Eifel Mountains, the home of the Nurburgring, for my first laps in the Porsche 718 Cayman GT4. Now it has more or less become a rite of passage for all new Shmeemobiles to head here to the Green Hell to do some laps. Tonight is Touristenfahrten and an opportunity to enjoy this car, and that is exactly what is going to happen. The combination of the manual gearbox with the naturally aspirated flat six with the JCR Developments exhaust, combined with how good the car looks as well in the Innovatec Midnight Purple. We've got the Aurum Gold wheels, we've got the RSNV wing risers, we've got Misha playing with Green Hell Pancake, a new arrival here at Apex since my last visit. But today is about seeing what this is like out on the Nürburgring during TF. So let's do this, let's get everything ready and head on over to go have some fun. While Misha's over there having fun with Green Hell Pancake, I'm going to be getting ready with this, which is not exactly clean. I'm not going to lie, having driven quite a few miles in it recently. I've lowered the tyre pressures down, popped them down to 1.8 at the front and 2.1 at the rear, which sounds really quite low, but after a lap, they should get up to about the right pressures. We've got a full tank of fuel, we've got the bucket seats in here, everything basically ready to go. I've got my card ready and set to head out. So I think without really any further ado, it is time to get this started and to go out here at the Nürburgring to enjoy the GT4, which is pretty much one of the perfect cars to drive in this environment. So let's get it started. Sounds mega, exhaust on, auto blip. Yes, it's telling us they're a little bit low at the moment. They won't be for long. And I think, basically, let's go and do this. Here we are then, the entrance of the Nordschleife. Remember, it is Touristenfahrten, tourist drives. It is a public toll road. Road rules do apply. We've actually fast forwarded about an hour. The track has been closed for a while, but I think we'll just have time to go for 2 laps probably before the end of this evening's TF session. So out we go. First lap in about 4 months. So let's ease into it. On the pedal, build the revs. This car sounds so insane, and it's a bit trippy being back here as we go through Tiergarten after having been playing on the simulator in the GT4 Club Sport back at home. Just going to take it easy for my first outing, build up a little bit more into it. Second lap, of course, there's a lot more to think about when you are driving a car with a manual gearbox. There's also a lot more to think about when you have the very, very, very low sunshine. We need to get some heat into the tyres, feeling a little bit of movement from those initially. The revs of this car are so cool. So we go through T13 to Hatzenbach. I feel like I know this place though. I feel like I know where it goes, which is really quite weird, but that's the beauty of playing so much on the simulator and knowing from one corner to the next what you need to do, where you're going, watching out for the fact that I can't see all that much with the low sunshine. As we meander through, not going to go too aggressively with the curves today. Gosh, it feels good to be back. This is such a smooth car to drive around here. It's precise, it's clinical. Everything links together beautifully. Foot flat. Absolutely love this. So we go light up over the top, gentle brake, don't want to go too fast. Never know what's around the next corner. So we now go flat through Schwedenkreuz, all the way down. One of the fastest sections. I've kept it in 5th, keeps the car composed. Gosh. Hit 250 kilometers an hour there. Onto the brakes for the off-camber section here. Always makes me feel a little bit nervous going through there. Now we have the run down to Vauxhall, Vauxruhe. Gosh, this thing rides pretty well down through here. Probably should keep the foot flat through the bottom. Oh, you feel that compression right over the curves here. As we're going to go through Adenauer Forst. We've got the notice that there has been an oil spill here. Just need to be a little bit careful with that. Gosh, I'd forgotten almost how intense driving through this place is. The turns meandering back through the Eiffel Mountains. Complete mix of variety of knowledge of the different drivers. We come into the miss hit miss. And down towards the siphon, the famous slowest corner of the section. Oh, sorry, of the track. Flat up the hill and away we go. I've got traction on full at the moment into the red line. Sounds so good. Into Bergwerk. Always get a little bit anxious at Bergwerk. This corner, the walls are very, very close to you. The car letting me know that tyre pressures are low. That's not a surprise. Thank you. Overtaking on the left, thanks to the kind driver there for popping on his indicator. What, the GT4 is a lovely balance of fast without being scary, and of course the Sport Cup 2 tyres are an ideal match for it as well. Style Stracker here before we're going to be going up towards the carousel. Thank you to that driver as well. Find the dropping in point. Run around the concrete slabs, keep your wheels just tucked in, and then away we go. Traction just intervening a touch there, but it's okay, we'll keep it this way. On the sim, this was a corner I was finding really tricky. Hoa Act up towards the top of the hill basically. Down towards Wipperman. Full concentration mode. Do you know what? First lap in a while, definitely involving a fair bit of concentration, especially knowing there are some other very fast cars around here at the moment. Tiles squealing as we come now to the little carousel and basically towards the end of the Nürburgring lap. Wow. Up to Galgenkopf. Not too intense for the first lap in a while. Very enjoyable. And this is where you just run it, back it off, let the car cool down a touch. There's a big, big queue up in front of us, and we certainly want to make sure that the car is in the best possible shape to go for another lap, because that's what it's about. And to be honest, this was like driving in the GT8, that feeling that the car isn't overpowered, that you can take some time to engage with it, try and understand it, try and learn, and not feel like everything's going past you so fast that you're just all around a little bit lost. That's one of the things that happens so easily with very, very, very powerful supercars. Now we're going to be going straight through for another lap. So we'll go on past and then take the left entry straight back through. That sun is getting very low, but we're in the queue then to go back through. This is what I love. We've got an old Corvette here, we've got a GT3 RS, an ultraviolet, we've got a whole series of different hatchbacks, M3s, so many different cars that come to drive here at the Nürburgring, and that's one of the beauties of it. There was actually a 918 Spider parked up nearby earlier. I thought maybe we might see that, but don't see it right now, obviously with the delays to today's activities. Thankfully they do have entry barriers on both sides, which means being in a right-hand drive car is not too much of an issue. I also love how international it is. German, Italian, Denmark, another Italian, Netherlands, obviously I'm in a British car. People come here from everywhere, not just the Germans, all coming to enjoy this very famous, very epic piece of tarmac here in the Eifel Mountains. So, we'll make our way through. Tyre pressures, thankfully, are now up to the recommended numbers, which is good. We've got the car running, everything set up. Auto stop start off because it was getting a little bit annoying in the queue earlier. You don't want to put the GT4 into full track suspension. This car is actually set up basically for normal suspension to be Nürburgring friendly mode, and then track to be more like if you went to the Nürburgring GP or to Silverstone or Spa or another Formula 1 style, World Endurance Championship style circuit. Anyway, get ready through the chicane, out here, foot down, let's go. It's so good. Has to be said, seeing a lot of very nice etiquette on the Nürburgring today, as I'm going to pull right as well for a faster hatchback behind me. He is on it. Look at that over the curbs, throwing that through the corners. That's one of the amazing things about this place. All sorts of different abilities. And now we've got the slightly faster car, I presume. But I don't really want to overtake, because I'll just be a nuisance when we get to the next slower section. Use the opportunity to learn a little bit. Look at the lean he's getting on through that. Going to back it off a little bit here through Schwedenkreuz. Right, we've got a GT3 RS that's going to go very, very fast through in a moment. So I'm going to get through here, tuck it to the right, slightly offline, but let the GT3 RS go through. Tell you what, there's a lot more to think about when you're in a car that isn't, let's say, the McLaren Senna or something of that kind of speed, because you're aware of everything behind you as well. Remember, this is only 420 horsepower, but it is a very, very, very fast car for driving here at the Nürburgring. Down to the foxhole again. Oh, that compression is so intense. Run the curves here. I love the auto blip. When I was in the GT8, I tried my hardest to do it myself, but it was certainly challenging when there's this much going on at the same time. A little bit the gear ratios in here as well, and what's the best for which section and when basically to use second, because you have these very long gearing, this very long gearing setup in the GT4. Down to the miss hit miss. Watch out for the GR Yaris. Back to Besaifon. Oh yes, that felt good. get very, very quick through here. In fact, on the sim, driving in the AMG GT3 was banging off the limiter at top speed there, which was quite an experience. A little bit tighter through the inside here. Lost a little bit of speed for the uphill section. You never realise these undulations, and when I did the Nurburgring's driver training and got to do a bit of a track walk and experience it for myself and see some of the elevations in the earlier sections, was when I had the opportunity to really understand how steep some of these inclines are. Come back to the carousel, drop it in on the concrete stones. Doesn't really help to go particularly fast through here. It is crazy how much knowledge of the layout and which way the next corner is going really helps the experience, to be honest, and knowing what's coming, where you can go, where you can use more of the track in front of you, where you need to be significantly more careful. So we come back around to Whipperman again. A little bit of the Whipperman challenge. Nice little flame out of the car up ahead of me there. We come round to Rinchin. Camera corner looking very busy as the area has opened up to more and more people to be able to come along and spectate. That was cool. Go straight up towards the sunshine, limited visibility, tight loop through the side of the corner there. Heading through one of the very quick areas again. Getting ready to go a little bit light here. Woo! Oh gosh, carrying a lot of speed down here now. That is a very low sun over the corner's crest. And around towards a little carousel. Obviously carbon ceramics in here have held up fantastically through my 2 laps at the end of the day. And we go around through Galgenkopf to the end of the Nordschleife loop. A beautiful afternoon, a fantastic car to enjoy this amazing place. And now a bit of a cruise because it is looking very busy. And one of the problems if you've got hot brakes is that you get to the traffic jam here and you need to watch out because you don't want things to overheat a little bit. So we'll cool it off as much as we possibly can. Make use of some engine braking. I think in fact the car is probably barely even warmed up. The temperatures are colder than when I started. Now the car is clever, it knows to run the fans aggressively if you're driving in sport mode and whatnot. That was one thing changed from the 981 into the 718 GT4. But yeah, 2 more laps down at the Nürburgring. I was a little bit anxious before that I might not get the opportunity to squeeze those in today. I can see that it is now closed up ahead of me. So that is it for this afternoon's run. Just a little bit of time to make our way back to base and think about how epic that run was. Back where we began after 2 very successful laps with the GT4 becoming a proper Shmeemobile with its maiden outing at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. 2 laps which were in many ways quite spontaneous. Getting towards the end of the day, we were just about at the stage of thinking it might not happen today when they opened things back up, got to go out, got to enjoy the first laps, albeit quite busy, but there's nothing to win at the Nürburgring by driving particularly quickly. It's about having a good time because believe me, there's a lot to lose. It is about enjoying yourself, about enjoying the public toll road with no speed limit and having the opportunity to put the foot down and enjoy a bit more of what cars like this are made to do. And of course, being a product from Porsche's GT department, the Cayman GT4 is absolutely spot on at that kind of environment. It rides the bumpy surface so well. The scream of the engine is magnificent. The gearbox is so engaging as well. Now you can get the GT4 now, of course, with the 7-speed dual clutch, the PDK as well, which would give a very different driving experience. And I imagine for the upcoming GT4 RS, the even more powerful, more downforce, more track focused version, that will probably be dual clutch PDK only as opposed to a manual option. But for today, for having a good time, this is spot on. This is such a good car to drive out here, and having driven many of my different cars, from the cars like the Senna and the Ford GT, which yes are massively faster, but they're also a lot more intimidating. This gives you that extra second just to take in what's happening around you, especially when there's a lot of traffic today, for example, when you just want to have some smiles and have a good time, and like I say, bring the car back home at the end knowing that it's rewarded you from the drive as well. And a thing like this, you know, we don't have anything overheating, the brakes haven't had any issues. It's just nice to be able to drive the car, use it, and have a good time along the way. That's it for now though. It's great to be back here after such a long time for my first outings in a while. I didn't want to go crazy in any capacity, just get back on the circuit, get back comfortable, I guess, with the groove of the location and have a good time in the process. So thank you very much for watching. As always, guys, appreciate your support an awful lot. But that's it for this time, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.